Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this Christmas card making tutorial. This is the gorgeous card we're making today. Isn't it lovely? I love this little Santa and his elf wishing you merry and bright. I just think it's cute. Perfect card for those who love Christmas and who enjoy colouring. So we're going to start off with our stamping. This is a stamp set, Festive Friends, and we're going to be stamping using Memento Tuxedo Black because we're going to be colouring using the Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. And I'm just using basic white colour stock, just a scrap here to stamp my lovely Santa and then the elf. And this Festive Friends stamp set is part of a bundle, and you'll see it also comes with the matching dies. So really useful. I think these are going to be made great for Christmas, or decorations, table favours, all sorts of things you can use this for. Really versatile set, and I just love these little critters. Now this one is the Sign Design stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp this now. And let's see, I try it first with shaded spruce ink to see what it looks like, and I'm going to stamp this and we're going to see how it turns out. I can't remember if I continue to with it or if I move to my other one. So down and then up, and then give that a little clean. And yes, we're going to use shaded spruce. So there we go. So put that away. Now the Sign Design stamp set that we just used does have a matching punch, and you'll see me use that later. But first we're going to do some colouring. So we're going to colour in our Santa, our Father Christmas, and I'm using here Real Red. I'm going with the darker colour first, and I'm just putting it down where I think there'll be some creases and shadows, and then I'm going in with my lighter colour. My Real Red is running out a little bit, I can tell. It is one of my favourite colours to use, not just for Christmas but throughout the whole year. Red is one of my favourite colours, red and pink. I love bright colours. I'm not really a pastel person. I'm much more bright and bold. Now these colours are much deeper in real life, and you'll see that in the still shots. You can see on my blog post. You'll be able to see there how how deep and strong these colours actually are. Now I'm just going with shaded spruce, and I'm just putting in again, going with my dark colour first, and then blending everything out with my lighter colour. And as I said, the lights do seem to bleed out some of the colour, but it is stronger in real life. So I'm just going around here. Very simple and easy colouring, no real faffing about here too much. If I feel I've blended things out a little bit too much, I just go back in with my darker colour and add back in those highlights. Right, see a little bit of there. I forgot his sleeve, so I'm going to do that. Right, now we're going to do Father Christmas's boots, and I'm just doing this in basic black, and again just using my two colours, using Daffodil Delight there just for the button, and then I'm just going to use pecan pie here, or pecan pie, or however you say it, for my little elf hair. And just doing that. Now I'm going to use some of my I call my skin tone colours. I think this is SU 900 and SU 1000. They're the very lightest of the skin tone colours of the lights that I've used here. And I'm just putting some down and then blending out the colours here just a little bit. So there we go for our elf. And then I'm just going back over where I feel it's too light. Now where I've got white very much here for my Father Christmas, and also a little bit on my elf, I'm just going to use a little bit of soft sea foam. You can't see it here on the camera, but it just dirties up, for want of a better word, that white, so it's not so bright. It gives it a little bit of shadow, and then I just use my colour lifter to blend that out. Now you can see here I'm using the matching punch for the Sign Design to punch it out, and I've used the dies to cut out my little Father Christmas and my elf, and everything is done by the magic of video editing. Now our card base this time is going to be Real Red, and I've got a piece here of basic white I'm going to put in. Now this is a standard A6 card. That means it's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And I've got scraps here, so I've got scraps of the North Pole Delivery Designer Series paper, which is that post office, those letters and parcels. And then I've got also some scrap here of the Christmas tags and more designer series paper, and some scraps as well of the the gold foil. So this way of doing it is a great way to use up all of your scraps. So I'm going to put a little piece down here at the top, a strip here of the gold foil, and cutting that off. I was thinking that I could use a bit more of that, but I can't, so I'll use another scrap. I love being able to use up my scraps, but I hate having a tub full of scraps that haven't been used. I'm actually going through all my tub of basic white scraps that are all sitting there in a mess at the moment, and I want to go through them and cut them down into usable pieces and just keep what I can absolutely use. Though I tend to be somebody who sort of thinks, well, maybe I'll be able to use that at some point or other, and I sort of keep every little piece, and then of course I end up drowning in scraps. So this is a really good way to use up. So I'm just using my seal here because I don't really want to get glue on my foil sheet, because I feel that if I do, it might splodge out and it doesn't look nice on the foil. So there we go. Now we've got the seam in the middle is where I'm going to put down this lovely postage paper, all these letters and parcels. I think this looks really nice with the Father Christmas, with all these parcels behind that he has to deliver. Right, so let's put some dimensionals on the backs of our little critters here. We're going to pop them up, and we're also going to pop up our sentiment. Now you see here I'm using, I'll be using a mixture of our normal dimensionals and our baby ones, or mini dimensionals. I'm quite generous with my dimensionals. I'm always generous with them. I don't want these things sagging in the centre, especially when they've got to go through the post. Here we can't choose our post to be hand stamped. It all has to go through the rollers, so I like my things to come out okay and not be squished. So I'm very generous with my dimensionals, as I said, but each to their own. Adhesive is very much a personal choice, and everybody does what works for them, and this is what works for me. So let's put down our little Father Christmas here. I've used the stamp set Festive Friends a number of times, and I will link to a couple of those videos at the end of this video as well. They are just lovely for lots of Christmas crafting projects, cards, Christmas decor, Christmas decorations, all sorts of things. They're just really nice, and you can colour them in whatever your favourite colouring medium is. I think this would be lovely if you want to stamp these a few times and give them to children to colour in. It would be great for them to colour in and make their own Christmas decorations using these lovely little critters. Right, so now I'm just going to use the edges of my dimensionals. Your edges are all good dimension. Don't waste the edges of your dimensionals. It really is a waste. They are the same as dimensionals. And the best part of edges is that there's less backings to take off. So you can tell I absolutely love my edges. So let's put down our little sign here. Merry and bright. Isn't that cute? Right. Get rid of those backings. Now I'm just going to stick all of this on my card base, my real red card base. So our first card was Shaded Spruce, and this one here is real red. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Right. Clear the decks a little bit. These are the red and white peppermints, and I just used a few of these here and there just for some added something. Not going to use a lot, just a few here and there. And there you can see there are our two little cards. You can tell me which one you prefer, the green version or the red version. So I hope you've enjoyed this video featuring the Festive Friends and Sign Design stamp and die bundles from Stampin' Up. And until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.